that they were asking for some more information, so it's totally done.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. It is Monday, August 15th, 2022. Let's start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next we'll have a roll call.
Simonson,
Yes.
Rickrell, Lyon, Colister,
Yes.
Coolman, Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Item number 4 is approval of tonight's agenda.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Simonson, seconded by Holm. We have no discussion, take the roll.
Colister,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson,
Yes.
Next is our public participation part. Do we have anybody in the audience who wishes to address us? If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which consists of the minutes of the August 1st, 2022 regular city council meeting, our bills payable through August 15th, 2022 in the amount of $1,031,928.64, July's financial reports, a new Class C liquor license and Sunday sales filed by the City Limits Restaurant Incorporated, a renewal of a Class C liquor license outdoor sales and Sunday sales filed by the Jackson County Fair Association, renewal of a Class C beer permit and Sunday sales filed by Kwik Star, number 894, and a renewal of a Class C liquor license and outdoor sales permit filed by Carson's Celebration of Life Center.
So moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Good. We have no discussion. Take the roll.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Next, we move on to old business. It's an ordinance amending Title V Land Use Regulations, Chapter 1 Zoning Regulations, Subchapter B District Boundaries, and General Regulations of the City of Maquoketa Code of Ordinances. This will be the second reading for that.
Motion to approve.
We got a motion by Simonson, seconded by Colister. You want to touch base on what this is, real quick?
Yeah, this is one of the last steps to getting a tower that's coming above the police department. At first, it was allowing the proper language for that tower to go in with the B2 language, and now it's changing our police department from residential 2 to business 2, which makes sense. So the next council meeting, assuming this passes, will be the last step in that process, and we'll be along the way to get a new tower in.
Okay. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on now to new business. Item A is a resolution amending the resolution adopted June 21st, 2021, authorizing the issuance of a water revenue capital loan notes and anticipation project note, Series 2021C, authorizing execution and delivery of an amendment to Loan and Disbursement Agreement and replacement note, and approving supplemental tax exemption certificates.
You read that again?
No,
I didn't get it.
I didn't get it either when I read it. So what are we doing here?
We, when Platt Street project first started, the USDA became involved to provide temporary financing to complete the sewer, water, and stormwater utility infrastructure in it. For one reason or another, maturity date on those loans were July 1st of 22, and they're hold on a temporary basis at Maquoketa State Bank. They've been flexible and know the situation. And ultimately, the USDA steps in and then funds the actual charged amounts to Maquoketa State Bank, and then we pay back USDA for 40 years. It's way more simple than this resolution title leads you to believe. Unfortunately, we have to do this 3 times over, Mayor. But it's just
Practice.
part of what was given to us by our attorney firm, our bond counsel that will handle this, and we confirmed all this information with our USDA representatives as well.
Okay.
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Holm. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Simonson,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Item B is a resolution amending the resolution adopted June 21st, 2021, authorizing the issuance of a stormwater revenue capital loan notes application and project note Series 2021D, authorizing execution and delivery of an amendment to Loan and Disbursement Agreement and a replacement note, and approving a Supplemental Tax Exemption Certificate.
So moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Good. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Colister.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
All right, item C is a resolution amending the resolution adopted June 21st, 2021, authorizing the issuance of a sewer revenue capital loan notes application, project note Series 2021B, authorizing the execution and delivery of an amendment to Loan and Disbursement Agreement and a replacement note, and approving a Supplemental Tax Exemption Certificate.
So moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Holm. Any discussion? Then take the roll.
Good.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Item D is a resolution awarding services contract in the amount of $58,500 to Jackson Tuck Pointing Company Incorporated to surface, repair, and paint the pool shell at the Maquoketa Family YMCA, with staff authority to approve possible change orders in the amount not to exceed $65,000.
Thank you, Mayor. Scott, are you interested in taking this one?
I know a few things about it.
That's right.
Very good. Mayor and council, thank you so much for your time. The summary kind of speaks to where those dollars would come from. It is important to know that this is the last part of the CDBG grant. As such, it does need to be paid at prevailing wage, which does increase the cost. And then in addition to that, the pool prep will be done with the sandblasting, which actually increased the cost about $20,000. It does extend the life of the project. Typically what we find, even with the sandblasting, a good prep, a good paint, 7 or 8 years. Maybe you can get up to 10, but I wouldn't count on it. Paint just doesn't last as long. A lot of Ys will go with tiling pools, and you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. So obviously we're not looking at that level as far as this project goes. Funding would be $16,000, which would be the CIP. We'd initially put that in with the thought of us doing the work ourselves. Since it is prevailing wage, it is part of CDBG. It's conducted at the same time. We're looking at March of '23, same time as air handling unit. We cannot do it ourselves. It has to be through a contractor that's approved through the state of Iowa. So we did end up recommending $10,000 CIP from painting the sound deadening panels. If you look at those are in good shape. The paint looks good right now, and should be able to last at least another 5 or 6 years before we need to recoat that. $20,000 would be anticipated unused for the CIP from the wellness floor. We have 2 quotes right now, informal quotes for replacing the wellness center flooring at $95,000. We have a $30,000 grant. We have $95,000 in the CIP right now. So what's being proposed there is we use the $30,000 grant. Once again, this would be a next step, but would be a $30,000 grant, and then utilizing $65,000 of the $95,000, redirecting $20,000 towards this. And then donations, which we do have in hand, totaling $12,500. Would entertain any questions at this time?
What kind of condition is the pool shell in? Is it concrete or gunite or something like that?
It's concrete.
Concrete?
Yeah, the concrete surface is fine. It's the paint.
So it's
Paint's
just-
chipping up.
So they have to clear all the paint off first, right? Then-
That is the best way to do it.
Yeah,
It'll give you the
yeah.
longest, the best adhesion, the longest life.
And then if they discover any hairpin cracks or anything, they'll take care of that, hairline cracks?
That's typically how that would work.
Okay. And they prime it. What do they prime it with, you know?
The paint is actually an all-in-one, so
Oh, okay.
it's paint that's specific to pools. And you pay for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long will we be down?
We're hoping just the month of March. We're going to go ahead and schedule 6 weeks just to be safe. The air handling unit should be about 2 weeks. Typically, painting a pool from start to finish would be about a month. Schedule a little bit more, under promise, overachieve is what we're gonna go for.
I know when we do it ourselves, sometimes it extends if it's no faster having somebody else.
If we were to do it in-house, we wouldn't be sandblasting it. We don't have that expertise.
No,
So
I'm
we,
fine with it.
yeah.
I think it's fine that we're bringing somebody in, but it doesn't expedite the process any?
Not with the sandblasting. Sandblasting's gonna take longer, because usually a water prep, even a hot water, is tops 2 days to do the prep. You're spending a lot of time just letting it dry. Typically, even after you're done with all the prep, with their prep, they'll have to let it sit for a few days, clean it all up. One coat, come back, put another coat, and then do that whole process again. So it'll take about a week to a week and a half to actually paint. You need to let it sit at least a week before you put water into it, make sure you get proper adhesion.
Will these two projects together close the facility?
It'll close just the pool.
Just the pool? Okay.
So moved.
Okay, we got a
Second.
motion by Colister,
Second?
seconded by Holm. Do we have any discussion? Take the roll.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item E is a resolution amending the Written Employee Policy Handbook, section number 12.
Thank you, Mayor. This one has been kind of tricky, following guidance and doing the right thing as an employer. What I'm proposing here is to start our employees out at 40 hours at the start of their employment of sick leave. That's what my contract has, and I recently discovered that's not the case. I probably should have known that beforehand, but never ran into the situation where I've had to test and learn about the particulars of this. Kind of consulted around with some other administrators about what the best actions are at this point and what to do, since it seems like we're going to be living with COVID-19. And, you know, our Family First Coronavirus Relief Act, the first relief act infected on employers going back to the start of this whole thing, gave employers 80 hours of sick bank leave, so that, you know, you could get a vaccine, you could isolate, you could do all those things. You know, things have evolved, that's fine. What we're proposing to do is to go back to the point in our policy here, August 1st of 21, and anyone hired after that point gets a 40-hour sick time bump. In my opinion, that's enough time up to this date where someone could have built up sick time to have a sick bank in case of a positive test or some sort of exposure requirement quarantine, according to the CDC rules. That's the date that I presented to the Finance and Personnel Committee. I feel it's the appropriate thing to do as an employer to start someone out with something. It does not create a large hit on our financial accrued liabilities. This morning I checked again against our sick leave bank balance against all of our employees, and you know, we're talking about 12 employees and none of them have a large sick bank that would affect some sort of sick buyback. You know, that starts at 720 hours. None of the employees that we're talking about are near 720 hours. Took me about 8.5, 9 years into CALB to build up 720 hours on the same accrual rate. This takes quite a while to get, so I think you have a lot of safety in approving this. So if there's any questions regarding policy or what this does for our handbook, I'd be happy to field them now.
Are we gonna prorate any time that was used?
Meaning,
Let's say an employee in the last 3 or 4 months had COVID and used some time, I mean,
no, that's not the intention of this action item. It's only for people hired after that August 1st, 21 date. That point specifically, you have to draw a line somewhere.
I'm fine with that, I just wondered if that was.
Yeah, and there's no other employers doing that. That's kind of, you know, I don't want to be the anomaly here, and it's pretty well thought out, or, you know, it's tough if you've had it before and maybe had it again for that matter. But I want to make sure that we're being fair to folks that this really impacts, and it's the starting ones. And I can't go back to fix everything, but at least it's a point in the sand here that we can point to, draw a line and say, hey, we think that this is a spot where people have adequate sick time. And it marks the end of where our policy said that the FFCRA no longer was extended for the employees. So I just don't know where to stop that, and I think that August 1st date's the best location.
So moved. Second.
A motion by Colister, seconded by Simonson. I just have one quick question about this. Does this only apply to COVID, or is this just general sick?
This
sick
is
time?
general.
General sick time?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any more discussion? Then take the roll.
Simonson.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next is a resolution to establish a public hearing date on Tuesday, September 6th, 2022 at 6 PM to review plans and specifications for Innovate 120 facility improvements.
Thank you, Mayor. This is going to be the first of many CDBG actions again. It's always a good thing that they're coming into our community, which is good. This is going back to the February 7th agenda. You may recall some concept drawings for the inside of Innovate 120. They were awarded $407,000 as a CDBG, and the owner is taking care of the local match. And so this is gonna happen at 120 in this set of approvals. In the future, there'll be a 138. We'll get to that at another time, but just know that, probably the next few council meetings will be handling quite a bit of these. This specifically allows a public hearing for public input to have some influence on the bidding process, the construction of what this will become ultimately. So your support's recommended.
So moved.
Okay, we have motion by Holm,
Second.
seconded by Good. And if we have no discussion, take the roll.
Colister.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Item G is a resolution of Maquoketa City Council approving a subrecipient agreement for 2022 CBDG CV grant 20 CVN-040 with Innovate 120.
Thank you, Mayor. Kind of touched on it a minute ago, but the meat and potatoes of this agreement effectively outlines that the owner, Robert Abbott, is responsible for the local share of this subrecipient grant, even in the case of change orders that's already been agreed to on their end. Your approval tonight would effectuate a signature on that agreement and move the project forward.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Good,
Second.
seconded by Colister. We have no discussion, take the roll.
Good.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
That motion passes. We move on to item H, a resolution authorizing invitation to bid for the Innovate 120 Facility Improvements Project.
Last item on this one, Mayor. This will allow us to get ahead of the game in terms of recruiting competitive bids for the facility. If we wait to the next council meeting, bidders would have 12, 13 days to really return something of quality to the firms that are helping out Mr. Abbott and ECIA, who's managing this grant. We don't feel that's enough time. So we want to run this invitation to bid parallel to these actions tonight to allow about 3-4 weeks of bid recruiting for the construction project. That's what this action does.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Holm. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Item A is a resolution awarding Cardinal CrossFit a downtown incentive grant, facade and commercial interior in the amount of $15,000 upon verification of completed work and final qualified bill costs.
So moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Simonson. We have no discussion. Take the roll.
Simonson.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Do we have any reports or communications we need to discuss? Any city council member reports? City manager?
And nothing extremely noteworthy tonight. I know Frank and the Public Works crew started in on weeds, which I'm hoping to get a handle on this in years to come. What we can do to seal those up or to find a way to pretty up some of the streets around here.
Okay. We have nothing for an executive session, so I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Good,
Second.
seconded by Holm. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Record.